Oh, yeah.
Are you ready? I was born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dirty, so bad. I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on being the art of humbleness. Hey, you being me, that's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. But sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just, I hate that I'm scared of it.
It would be awesome to, be being a great war. Maybe with a Mexican.
Let's go. Way pop.
I have to put the joke.
No, hey.
Thank you for playing, man. I appreciate
Good
you.
timing.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
Saludos a todos. Hello, everyone. We are Long Live Boxing EnVivo podcast con Manny Marrero.
Shono Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper.
I'm going to this Sunday morning to break it down like it is, like it should be, the way we know how to, after a fantastic events, and I'd say plural because everywhere there was just boxing. The Zone. Cepeda actually found last night.
Yep,
Tommy with Ramirez, Sinisi Estrada. But the headline of the weekend, what were we talking about?
The only bouts that mattered to me yesterday.
Is that right?
Yeah. David Benavidez, the entire fight card. Finally, after 5 years of waiting, we got the fight that we wanted. Some boxing through as a bone. Big fight. Caleb Plant, David Benavidez, and they didn't disappoint. Not just the main event, but the entire fight card.
Yeah. You called it. You called it early in our previous show, that this was a very
Fun
stacked card, fun card.
Stacked.
One that PBC can actually redeem themselves in terms of putting something together, especially when it comes to the pay-per-view, in the magnitude of Benavidez versus Plant. So it deliver in your eyes?
Oh, definitely. It delivered and then some. And not just, like I said, not just the main event, but the entire fight card. I was happy. This was one of the fight cards, or this is a pay-per-view that I made sure to get done grilling early. I was done by 7:00. I was done with cooking. I put everything up. I was in chill mode. I was showered. I was ready to go watch the fights, and that was my sole focus. I watched the entire PBC fight card, all 4 fights. I didn't change the channel. I didn't watch no March Madness. I didn't even watch Ramirez or Chonsep. I watched my full attention was on the PBC, because that whole fight card was just that good. And it was just that, it was that intriguing. The first fight, Crowley against Abel Ramos. The second fight, the lightweights, the robbery of 2023, Rayo Valenzuela and Chris Colbert. The co-main event, Joseph Spencer against Jesus Ramos. That was a high-level prospect fight that Jesus just with his power. And then the main event. I mean, I loved it, and yes, I paid for it. I didn't, illegally stream this one. So
there you go.
But I did pay for this one. So,
Sean, your thoughts about last night fights? The card delivered the expectations?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It was awesome, and I also partaked in it legally. So
we're proud of ourselves.
Doing my due diligence to make sure to promote the fight the right way. And I was rewarded with great entertainment. And shout out to my brother with his Hopper thought, encouraging people to get the card for the entire card, not just the main event.
Entire card.
Because you were rewarded with great entertainment. I mean, yeah, we'll get into as far as looking at the numbers and how we thought about Colbert Venezuela. But Rayo fortified himself well. And Colbert did too. I mean, he got knocked down the first round.
Right away.
It wasn't like he was a slouch. I mean, it warrants, I'll say like this, it definitely warrants a rematch, and both guys are up for it. So that's what I love to see in boxing. No more BS. What about this? What coulda, shoulda? Do I like the decision? No. But let's remedy that with another opportunity for us to see another good matchup. But as far as like the main event, what a beautiful opportunity for us to see the two of the top guys in the division duke it out for an opportunity to go against, dare we say, Canelo. We'll see. So but let's kind of get into more about what actually happened and do the breakdown of that actual fight. As far as like the main event, Hopper, what's your thoughts as far as did it play out the way you thought it would? No, we talked about entertaining, but as far as like the fight itself, I'll go ahead and say it had a lot of Devin Haney-esque holding, but I will say that with all that being said, I don't want to take away what Caleb Plant at all. For one, neither guy, one thing that I questioned was their tanks, not just their heart, you know, they have heart, they're warriors, but their tanks, like no guy got tired at all. In fact, I thought Plant was trying to go out on the shield, if anything. He did have moments where he was holding more than I would like. You know, I'm anti-hold, and that's more on Kenny Bayless for not questioning. You know, you only do what people allow you to do, and that's on the referee to intervene and make that not happen. So that's where I felt like David Benavidez, his right hand, and then left hook to the body, and then he doubled it up sometimes, made the difference in all the fight, and his power just overwhelmed Plant, who did have a good, solid game plan. He tried to execute it. He had good success early on.
He did.
But after the second half of the fight, it was clear separation. Hopper?
No, yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth, Gringo. Caleb Plant performed very well the first half of the fight, but then the second half of the fight, David Benavidez he kept coming. That pressure finally got to him a little bit. And kudos to Caleb Plant, man. What a heart. Because honestly, in my opinion, I don't know, I was texting us a few buddies in the group message. I was like, man, this fight needs to be stopped. At the end of the 11th, going into the 12th, I really thought maybe Bredman, the trainer of Caleb Plant, was probably going to stop him because he had already told him, you got to show me something. You got to show me something. Honestly, I honestly thought it probably should have been stopped, man. But Caleb's a warrior. He wanted to go out on his shield. And that 12th round, he actually brought it. He brought some punches to him, some combinations. And that gave me a lot more respect for Caleb. Like, man, look at Caleb. Still trying, still battling, still getting hit, but still throwing. Like, man, that's a warrior. That's all hard. And you can't, all you can do is just tip your hat off to him, applaud him. And, hey, he lost. He knows he lost. And David Benavidez, and you know, it was a good fight because the bad blood they had, once it was over, squashed. Like they came up, they're like, hey, bro, you know what's up? Hey, that's how you settle beef like men, you know, in the ring. Once it's over, hey, that's it, man. Hey, you don't necessarily have to like each other, but you gain a certain level of respect. Like, man, we just went through 12 rounds of hell with each other. And you touched on it too, Gringo. It didn't take long to bring up Kenny Bayless and what a horrible job he did. The holding that Plant did, that's the only drawback that I saw from Caleb, was just a lot of too much holding. But hey, if you can get away with it, go for it, you know, to prevent Benavidez from going off on you like that. Yeah. I thought Kenny Bayless had one of his poorest nights of recent memory. I don't think I've ever seen him perform like at that job. I felt like Benavidez was up against two people at times. Even when you felt he was about when you felt he should have warned Caleb, he actually warned Benavidez. And you're for what? What are you warning Benavidez for? He's not the one holding. So, but no, overall, I was present. I enjoyed the main event. I had picked Benavidez to knock him out in the 10th. Caleb Plant just wouldn't go down, man. He just refused to go down.
Absolutely. Let's get to this comment real quick. Shout out to Nando Yamas in the house. The biggest damage of the fight was the accidental headbutt.
The 8th round, I believe.
One-sided. Yeah, the one-sided. It definitely, I felt like Caleb was out on his feet. And then it was weird. The doctor got called in.
Yeah, during the middle of the round.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what Kenny Bayless was on, but he was not on
his A game.
He was like, you know what? No knockouts on my watch. That's pretty much
tonight. Even the commentators were saying, I love you, Kenny, but I don't know what's going on with you tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. What's your thoughts, Manny? I know that you're all about blood and violence, and that's why we love you, brother. But what was your feelings with the fight? Was Kenny Bayless distraction to you, or you really appreciated what the two warriors were doing in the ring, and it just happened to be just an aspect of it, but it didn't really take away from your enjoyment. But
I mean, it really, the inconsistency of that, of his, you know, refereeing the fight, that's what really got people kind of concerned throughout, right? Because it was not fair. You had a lot of different things that happened inside the ring. First of all, Caleb Plant started fighting a very, very smart fight. It seemed to like starting to have slightly a control. But I have to give the Benavidez, he was patient throughout every single round. By the way, that ring was humongous. I mean, it was, you know, Benavidez tried to cut that ring, you know, as much as possible. We did see Caleb Plant at one point. He knew that he was getting aggressive, cutting them around, and he started to put the rollerblades on, and he was still getting caught. And so patient enough, round after round, he had no other choice to just to grab him and hold him. Every time that they were, close together, I think Kenny Bailey did a good job by letting them fight. And this is what Benavidez, because listen, every time Benavidez was come forward and Caleb Plant would grab them, typically the referee just kind of separates them. But he allowed Benavidez to actually starting his aggressive game plan. When you have someone's trying to clinch too much and grabbing too much, and he had let him fight. He frustrated Plant at one point. It's like, man, I can't even do this myself as well. So I have to be cautious because they're letting us fight. And you see there were a lot of punches behind the head. I think I saw Caleb Plant with like a big bump in here in the back of the head. I think some of those shots he was getting when when Caleb Plant was clinching and grabbing him and not giving him an opportunity at all to fight in the inside. And this is where Benavidez excel. But, when you look at the first 6 rounds, he did battle well in terms of like keeping Benavidez away from it. But it was just a matter of time. The patient that I talked about, Benavidez had, he was well prepared. I've never seen Benavidez attacking. Even when he's looked exhausted, he was still throwing the left hook. He was working in the body. That body really started getting them that straight jab in the middle of the body. That really started to kind of wind down a little bit to Caleb Plant, but that's what these guys train for. And this is the conditioning and the stamina these both guys had, that it went all the way down to the distance. It was pretty much a blowout, but still have to give it to Caleb Plant that he was able to be, first of all, he finished the fight. Second, he's looking good and still doing good, regardless of the headbutt, which that's probably the most, what looked really bad through the fight. It's just that headbutt. Other than that, I mean, Plant was really good. It's just a good fight for us boxing fans, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just that Plant didn't have enough power to keep Benavidez off of him.
That's
what it boiled down to.
Ultimately,
do you have enough power to keep that guy off you? Because the Mexican style pressure is gonna come. It's gonna keep coming.
And they both hit themselves with the biggest shots, though. They both took them. I think Caleb Plant took a lot of great, hooks and pushes. And then the same thing Benavidez did it too as well. So they gave it all they got, and this is what the boxing fans want. We want some fights. Yeah, we get it. They don't like each other, but they settled a little inside the ring. They gave the fans what they wanted.
They squashed the beef.
And they're giving Benavidez an opportunity to finally be at that spotlight, something that he took away from himself years ago when he had outside issues and also didn't make the weight, lost the belt, but he could have already faced Canelo. But on the other side, I think things happen for a reason, and you got to wait the right timing. And I did see Benavidez at his best of 168. No problem. He came in to weigh 162, real 2 pounds under the actual weight limit. So that tells you that he's strong. He's good at that 168, and we're probably going to see him there for quite some time.
Yeah, well said, brothers. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers.
I cannot believe my eyes.
Actually, I can. All right, so taking a quick look at it, David Benavidez, he was definitely separating himself like in the 7th round. Total punches landed 210, 551 thrown, body landed 28 at 38% clip. Jabs, he had a nice crisp jab working. He actually, in the press conference, he talked about he felt his jab was more effective. Hard to argue with that. 30 out of 132, 23%. Power is a great equalizer, deodorant, whatever you want to call it.
Kaboom.
And 43%. That is how you're going to dominate a fight. So if you want to look at a number that separates,
round 10.
It's 43 landed in that round.
That's 10. What after that round 11, that's when I started thinking, damn, I need to stop this fight. This dude took what is that right there? Round 10 and 11. That's what, like 70 punches. Damn.
Right.
Power punches.
Yeah, and then that blood started to go in his eyes, so it's kind of annoying and bother. I'm sure the knowing that you're behind the card, and then you got a few challenges that you're facing, right? Not having problems, having problems breathing. You're all bloody. It looks really nasty and messy, but it was just because of the headbutt. But I don't think that really prevent from this fight to take the course that it did take, because we knew eventually with the headbutt or without the headbutt, that's just no excuse. It's just happened accidental. It wasn't in a strategy on Benavidez' side that he's like, hey, I'm gonna try to, do certain things, that are those mature strategies, right? And I think Caleb Plant did that, and he did it by grabbing, by being smart and not really standing in there. And I love the fact that Benavidez invited him in at all times. That's the thing about this, man. These guys are not afraid to fight each other. and this is why we were so excited about this card even months before.
And I'm just glad these two guys utilized their jab, because in the other fights, I forget which fight it was, but I think I saw one jab connected. I think it was the Joey Spencer fight. They're not throwing them but power punches. There might have been the first fight, but and then the other fight had like 5 jabs thrown or landed or something like that. But
the Crowley.
Yeah, the Crowley.
Yeah, the first fight.
None but power punches. So, and that's what we kind of expected from the first fight. But I'm glad Plant and Benavidez brought the jab with them.
Yeah, no, definitely, brother. Well said. So let's get to these numbers real quick. Some more information. So David Benavidez pulled away in the second half of the fight, outlanding Plant 161-46 through round 7 through 12. Benavidez landed 43% of his power landed, like we showed. 43 power punches landed in just the 10th round alone is muy impressive. Like, that is crazy. But like our brother Hopper said, he landed in that one round more than Plant did the rest of the fight, just in that one round. So like the second half of the fight was a clear separation. So much respect to both fighters. It exceeded my expectations for not having a knockout. I know that David Benavidez said in the press conference that he's disappointed, but he felt like he clearly won the fight. He dominated. I see it as an 8-4 victory. I'm hearing 9-3 as well, but clearly
9-3 is fair. I had 9-3. I think
that's what I had it.
I had 9-3. I think because you give Caleb Plant 3 rounds. I don't think there was that many swing rounds because David Benavidez made sure of that. So especially in the second half of the fight, but what a fun fight, man. Can't take nothing away from Caleb, man. He trained his ass off. I enjoyed the build-up all the way through it. And then even I enjoyed the embraces afterwards. David, even Jose Benavidez, that's
took him a little bit to get that going,
Jose right? And Jose and Caleb. That's kind of where the beef started with the Benavidez family. And even the father, he was trying to apologize afterwards, but they cut him off. They're like, nah, bro, nobody cares what you have to say. Even though what he said was kind of tasteless,
Yeah.
Right.
What he said about Caleb Plant's daughter, like, bro, come on, man, just shut up. Just don't even mention her. Like, what the hell are you doing? Talk about him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's enough there. I mean, literally.
Yeah, you don't need to be mentioning talking about somebody's, like, even if he didn't directly talk about her, it was just more so the situation surrounding it. But either way, bro, shut up. Don't bring.
But you have to keep hyping the fight. You have to keep building on that. That rivalry.
I get that. But just sometimes some things are just a little classless, a little tasteless.
Because you go, if you go to
down
the
that
extremes
road
at times, and you start bringing in family and people like that. I mean, that's what happened to Darrell, with Plant, and that really built a lot of that anger inside the ring that allowed him to get something that he really does and knock someone out the way he did. I knew for sure it was difficult to knock. I mean, Benavidez is just a tough guy. He's just strong. It's very difficult to get him into the outside, and that's why a lot of people feel like it's him and Canelo will be a very very good fight because both fights are strong, and not to mention you see a slight glance from Bivol. When you look at Bivol, though he kind of stays with the outside. Benavidez has that, but Benavidez is a little bit more. He takes more risks, and he's able to get you in the inside. He likes to brawl, so that's what makes it very interesting.
Oh, so you're picking Benavidez over Canelo? Is that what I'm hearing?
Wait.
I mean, that's the path to it, right? I mean, that's what and I love his words at the end of the day because you can start talking about talks and you be dunking bean and all that. I think he understands his position, but I think also he understands Canelo's position. He's got options. He's going to take whatever he feels is best for his career, but he's here waiting. And, I know I messed up at one point, but I'm still here. And so in order to really settle the 168 pounds, this fight has to happen in my eyes. I know Canelo has many options, and Canelo's going to do whatever he wants to do. But at the end of the day, this is one of those fights that he's got to go through before he ends up his career. That's just my thought.
All right. Well, I guess we're not fucking around. We're going right into it. Okay. So we got Dando Llamas in the house. Photographer de la Gente, Esme. In the house. Run PMC. Running things. We got Danny PR78 in the house. Let's go ahead and get to it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, like they say in the streets. He hasn't done one of these in a while, but fuck it.
I don't want peace. I want problems always.
All right, so that means our brother Hopper is about to do a rant. I've been wanting to know for a while We talked about you enjoyed the fight. It's like a brand new hopper. He doesn't have allergies. He watched the PBC. He promotes the PBC.
I promoted the PBC all
And
week.
paid
It's like
for
a-
it.
it's
And paid for it.
And I paid for
Stream.
it.
Right. He's cooking and he's stopping at a certain time.
By the way, good feast that last night. Saw those pictures, man. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I'm hungry right now.
Grilled chicken.
And leftovers.
Grilled chicken.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
talking
we had
about
for
grilling
breakfast.
some chicken.
With
What
some eggs.
is your thoughts? You've been saying for years, my brother, that David Benavidez is not on the same level, does not deserve the fight with Canelo. He's not in the same realm. All right. I'm probably overselling it, but fuck
A
it.
little bit, but that's
Okay,
fine. Keep going. I want all the small.
All right,
things.
so
Look,
you
this
said that-
is what I was preaching for years. What I've been preaching is, man, these guys need to put themselves in position to call out Canelo. And with that victory yesterday, Benavidez puts himself in at the negotiating table by getting by taking these dangerous high profile fights. Do I think he beats Canelo? Nah. Canelo's a little better defensively, a little more power, way better footwork. I think because David Benavidez was still getting hit. And I just kept thinking to myself, I kept picturing, I'm thinking ahead. I was like, man, what if that's Canelo in there? What's Canelo ducking and dodging and so, but no, I don't think Benavidez beats Canelo. I don't. And I love, Manny, you said it, you touched on it. You said that the way Benavidez put it afterwards, after the fight, that Canelo's not avoiding him. No, he's not, but he has options.
Can't think about it.
He wants to fight Bivol rematch at 175. That's some cojones that Canelo wants to do. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know why he wants to go up there 175 when you got a good fight right here, 168 with Benavidez. Canelo should feel confident about beating Benavidez, man. Yeah, he's gonna come at you for 12 rounds, but Canelo still has that elite defense. He's got elite footwork. He's got power, and he's healthy. He's coming off finally fixed that nagging injury that he had. Do I think Benavidez beats Canelo? Hell no. I don't think so. Not yet. Maybe.
No, and that's fair, man, and I appreciate that. So, if the fight happening, obviously we have the fight in Guadalajara, and hopefully you'll be there. The fight with Canelo, his next fight versus
breaking
Wilder.
news, Gringos.
My bad. But yeah, if there is a possibility for the next fight after Canelo does his thing, as we all expect, what's the fight that you would prefer? Would you prefer David Benavidez, because it seems like that's what the people want, us gringos here in the USA, or would you rather him fight and get his legacy fight? Because what he says he wants Bivol. He said that's what he wants as far as for his legacy. That's what he wants to get his revenge.
How important is it to you, though, to avenge that loss? No, it's very important for my legacy, for me, for my club, for my country, for my family, for everything. It's very important, and I will beat him.
All right, so that's his words.
It's hard to, if that's what he wants to do, if that's what his heart is set on, fighting Bivol and rematching Bivol, damn, that's on him. I can't. Hey, if that's what he wants to do, I think, in my opinion, probably the better option would be to fight Benavidez at 168, a weight class you're comfortable in, a weight class you're strong at. Going up to 175 against Bivol, I can't see him doing anything different than beating Bivol. I mean, Bivol's a machine, man. He's technical, power, fast, straight up the middle. He's got the total package when you're fighting in his weight class. So it's not like you're making him come down to 168. You're fighting in his weight class. I mean, you're already small for 168.
Right.
I go up to 175. I think the better option, I would want to see him against Benavidez, man. Can you imagine the build up? That would catapult boxing, man, for that September fight. Whew, it'd be massive, bro.
You know what's crazy too is because we always talk about, Canelo never gets the proper respect and he's always judged. Is it possible that people could call him a duck for taking Bivol?
That's crazy, right? When people call him a duck for fighting his monster Bivol instead of Benavidez. But again, remember, that's how it is with Canelo, man. It's a double standard with Canelo, and it is what it is. It's just no matter who he fights, it's always going to be a lot of backlash.
Extremely
that's crazy how you can say that he ducked Benavidez by fighting Bivol. Don't even make no sense.
Man, let me get to these comments real quick, and then we want to hear y'all, brother. No doubt. So Nando Llamas, great fight, but will PBC allow David to cross the street?
I think Canelo would go to PBC. I think Canelo would, because he's not tied up with any.
Photographer de la Gente, Esme in the house, LA, California. David Benavidez relies too much on his weight. and holds in order to take your legs. That is a strategy I've seen before. Morning, Remy.
Remy.
Remy in the house. Nano Yamas. When Bivol gonna fight someone this year, dude's in.
But that's what they all do. Whenever there's a cash cow, anybody in or around that division is gonna usually try to wait it out and see what this guy does. Like that's what they all. Jamal Charlo's been doing that for years. He's still waiting on Canelo. He's at 160. Like, bro, fight somebody. Boo boo too. I mean, that's what they all do. Whenever there's an established cash cow, everybody around that division just waits.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, good stuff there, and we'll see how it all plays out. Manny, what's your thoughts as far as like the Bivol, David Benavidez, you personally, right? Because this is a secret out there, and there's kind of a rumor that you're not really a big Canelo fan. So maybe like a little Canelo hater. What would you like to see personally? Like, which one would give you the most excitement? Just as far as a fan, just forget about the legacy of the fighter, but personally for you, which one had you more fired up to go sit down and watch? Like, this is the one I want to see.
Well, when you have a guy like Canelo in where he understands his talent, he works hard, he's accomplished so many things. And no, it's not that I'm a hater. They just at one point in our lives, and I think I've said this quite some time, a couple of times, is I felt there was a different path for Canelo that interests more of the fans, but he took the path of 168. He could have done it at 160 or do the Charlo kind of thing, and I have no interest in that fight anymore, by the way. So my props to Canelo for taking that route and giving us a lot of action throughout the last couple of years, undefeated champions, and he became undisputed. He tasted risk and go 175, which, by the way, did it hurt his career? Not at all. He came back and fought Triple G. But when you take a loss the way that Canelo did, and the way he is, I keep saying this: Canelo wants whatever he wants, and he will get whatever he wants, and he's not going to be. He's not going to have a peace of mind until he gets another shot, another opportunity. The fight that I like to see is that one, Bivol and Canelo. I like to see how Canelo can come back with something like that, and someone that is very difficult, someone that's a different style, someone that already showed him what he's capable of. And then even if he takes Bivol again and loses to Bivol, he can still come back and fight Benavidez. And nothing, it's happened. I'm taking the risk. I'm moving up there. We know already what he did. If I take a loss, it's not going to put it into my career. It's going to put it into a lot of the haters, right? They're going to keep hating. But at the same time, you come down. Now, you fight Benavidez, you lose, and then you go up to 175 again and try to beat Bivol. It just really doesn't make sense for his career. To the point about Nando, about him sitting there and waiting for it, absolutely. I mean, if you think about it, one of the biggest goal for a boxer is to accomplish a world title. The next thing is to be undisputed. He probably has a chance to do it with Burnaby, but he's going to be parked, waiting, like someone's waiting at the airport. You're parked there and just waiting and waiting. That's the way that Bivol is going to be. Why? Because he's going to make more money waiting, parked there, seeing how the landscape turns into his favor. Right now, he's technically the favorite to win the rematch again. So wouldn't you really hold on and park there? Don't matter how long that plane takes to arrive at the airport. You're going to sit there because you're going to wait for that money to come in. So at the end of the day, because he knows Canelo wants this as hard as possible, we also are going to see some entertainment in the back end with which comments about people trying to set up some matches and having conversations about possibly a Mungia versus a Bivol up there 175. Yeah, there's going to be talks like that. They're going to try to keep bringing Bivol into every conversation, and many other boxers that are trying to make a statement. They want a piece of that action. I don't think it will ever happen, but I think right now the best that we have for boxing is John Ryder will be fighting Canelo May 5th, and after that fight, we're probably going to have a clear idea. And I can guarantee you, after the Canelo and Ryder fight, what we're going to hear is, I want Bivol next, regardless of whether we have now Benavidez parked there at the airport, Ubering, waiting for his customer to come in so he can cash pay.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let's get these comments real quick. Photographer de la Gente, Esme, Canelo wouldn't lose to Benavidez on the cards. Benavidez would need a KO, so we all know that's unlikely to happen. So Remy says, great points, actually, to Manny.
Great
shout out. Nando Yamas, Bivol, just another dude. that's been placed up.
No, man, he's pretty good. He beat out Canelo and he embarrassed Zurdo. And he's fought some
No, I
other
mean,
guys
it's
that
a
are
dangerous fight. And can Benavidez beat
Yeah.
Canelo? I mean, he can give him a much better fight that we thought. Even before yesterday. If we're talking about this Friday, and we haven't yet to see the Plant and Benavidez fight, people would say exactly what Hopper said with confidence. Heck no. But because what we witnessed last night, I mean, he's one fight away from that. He had an amazing. He looked fantastic. I've never seen Benavidez look as sharp, as strong, and really determined like he wanted in this fight. This is the Benavidez that we were expecting. This is what we called it. And if you called it years ago, because he was ducking someone, he doesn't find anyone, and he was out in the streets doing crazy shit and can't make the weight. Now you see a much better Benavidez. You have got to be excited if that fight happens, because we're going to get more than what we expected if that fight ever happens before we even saw Benavidez at Plant.
Yeah. And oh, my bad, Gringo.
No, just real quick, I was gonna say, like, for me, though, the one that I'm wanting is David Benavidez for a couple of reasons. One, I think you got to strike when the iron's hot, and it's gonna be a good year as far as big fights. Even just announcing it would be a game changer and so exciting for boxing. And all of the quote unquote hate or questioning as far as the moves that Canelo makes. I mean, I'll go ahead and say it. Canelo didn't announce he was going to 168 for that run, which was impressive until David Benavidez had vacated the belt. Was that strategic or just the timing was the way it was? It is what it is. And there is a perception that the best guy at 168, which is clearly shown from last night, is David Benavidez. So if you're going to be the undisputed champion, you need to take out all challengers, and David Benavidez is that guy. Also, too, from a service standpoint, as far as entertainment, fandom, interest, I think that it would draw such interest from the fandom that it would be
mainstream.
It would be mainstream, huge, massive fight. And I'll go ahead and take another thing that people aren't talking about. If he fights Bivol at whatever weight, I think Bivol wins, and that would tarnish another victory. But if he fights David Benavidez after the
It'll
fact,
be next September.
It wouldn't. Yeah, it'd be later. It wouldn't have the
It'll
same.
be September 2024. If he fights Bivol this September, he loses because I don't think Canelo beats Bivol. I'm sorry, it's my boy and everything, but he's not. I can't see him doing anything differently against Bivol. And then if he loses in September, he's gonna take a mandatory fight in May, and then back to Benavidez in September. And the way they're playing that out as well is like, Benavidez, he looked good for this Plant fight because he was motivated. Can he stay motivated though for a year and a half?
But he's got momentum, and that's something that a lot
of
avoid well, I mean, yeah,
sugar.
I guess we haven't seen any
nose candy
lately. I think it's past, which sometimes it kind of annoys me, right? When the commentators are like expressing the cocaine. Listen, he made a mistake in the past. That's fine. We understand that, but give the guy his opportunity. And you have a chance to redeem him yourself, and you have a chance to really cover all those mistakes you made in the past, right? So. And now you have the opportunity right now in your hands. It's a possibility. I think, Hopper, you mentioned it perfect. You set yourself now for an opportunity to start opening the books and sitting at the table and start negotiation. Yep. Before this fight, no. And this is what a lot of fans didn't understand in the past. Oh, Canelo is ducking Benavidez. All Canelo said, listen, you got 3 guys that I beat at the 168 former champions. Right. Well, one Callum Smith move up, but you still have even Billy Joe Sanders. You still have now Plant. Fight one of these guys and see how you can prove yourself. And I mean, he doesn't have to do what Canelo says or whatever. There's no way that you can you can allow someone to judge your career, especially the guy that you're actually hunting. But that's the reality, and he did it in a fashion way. And guess what? That merits conversations to see. Hey, I'm going to put you in my roadmap in the future, and I think it will happen. It's just the priorities that Canelo has set right now into himself. They're bigger than what he would get with Benavidez, to be honest. That would be a chance to get a title in 175 with a rematch. It's
Go ahead, Hopper.
No, I was gonna say just something that I've preached on for almost Canelo's entire career, man. When opponents, when they take fights like these high-profile fights and get their name out there, like Caleb Plant, David Benavidez, I always point back to years ago when Triple G and Daniel Jacobs fought each other. They fought each other. It was a badass fight. Mm-hmm. They both raised their name. They both got their hype, and what ended up happening? Canelo fought both of them. And he fought Triple G 3 times, and they said he wouldn't fight him. He fought him 3 times, and he fought Daniel Jacobs.
And he got a great fight in the last fight.
That's what these boxers, in today's era, position yourself to get a seat at that negotiating table to where you have some legs to stand on. Because before that chair didn't have any legs, man. You're sitting on the floor, trying to peek your head up above the table. But now you're sitting comfortably, like, hey, what's up? I'm here. I'm ready.
No, absolutely. Let me get to these comments real quick. I'll go ahead and say for myself. Now, I said that's what I wanted, but what I think he'll do is what my brother Manny said. Canelo's going to do what he wants to do, and I think Bivol is the next guy.
Yeah, he wants that, man.
He wants Bivol.
When you're just, you have something in your mind that's what you want, and you know that you're going to get whatever you want. That's what's going to happen. But I want to take a moment to answer Danny PR's question. As it pertains, what's next to Caleb Plant? Caleb Plant's not dead right now in the division. If you think about it, I would hate to say he's not going to be a gatekeeper, but he's going to be a great opponent for any of these younger guys coming in, like number one, David Morrell. That could be a fight that can elevate, because we have a lot of talk about David Morrell. All right. There's a lot of talk about Jaime Munguia as well. There's a lot of talks about Bubu Andrade move up to 168. We've seen him fight in PBC. So if Andre wants to be a conversation when it comes to trying to contend for a title at 168, now we got to go back to the same way that Canelo mentioned things. You want me, then you got to go through these guys that they're still in their prime, and you got to be able to beat them to have that opportunity to have conversations if we're going to add you into our map. So Caleb Plant, I think, is still going to be there. I don't know if he's got any appetite to move down to 160. The 175 is difficult. So I think he's going to probably stay there, make a lot of money. He's going to make, he already made a name for himself, and he's going to probably give some of these guys. Eventually there's another one. Hey, Birdline gets up there. Who knows? Do you see what I'm saying? So there's just a lot of possibilities for him, not to be a gatekeeper, but at least to entertain some of the other up-and-coming fighters at 168.
Absolutely, man. Well said. Excuse me. So, JC, shit is crazy how narrative changes with Canelo every Saturday. Doesn't matter who's fighting. I mean, it is what it is, man. When you're the king, people are going to question the crown for sure. Nando Llamas, Mexican for Triple G, always throwing shade at Canelo, but scorecards. Okay, hear you. Photographer de la Gente, Esme. I think Benavidez wants to fight, but don't think he's sure he'll win. He can. He had camp 1 block away from Canelo's house and always was afraid to run in San Diego. He wants payday.
Let me take an alternate route.
I think people are payday.
Wow, payday.
And I think people are kind of forgetting. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, right? In terms of the boxing in the ring abilities of Benavidez and Canelo. Benavidez' strength plays into Canelo's strength. That pressure that Benavidez does plays right into the counter-punching ability that Canelo loves to do. So that's another reason why I think Canelo is just – I think Canelo wins this. Canelo would win the Benavidez fight just because simply with Benavidez' pressure, it's playing right into Canelo's hands.
What I do like about the outcome of last night's fights is that we have possibilities. If Caleb Plant would have beat Benavidez last night, there's not a rematch. I'm sorry. Canelo is not going to give a rematch, no matter if you're mandatory.
I wouldn't mind seeing it.
I wouldn't, but
if Caleb would have won, though.
It really makes no sense. Caleb, right? It would have not made sense. Now it's like it gets people excited because we know what Canelo wants, but we know there's opportunities and there's someone out there that people are wanting him to see, and even the ones that are skeptic about seeing the way Benavidez did last night and overcame all the challenges. It wasn't an easy fight, man. It was not an easy fight. But even with that, he still dominated. And the way he did that, I think it really merits and deserves a possibility in the near future. I would think so. I would think so because, either that or unless Canelo has other plans to, I don't know. I mean, I think it also has to do with the outcome of Bivol in the rematch. If it happens, and if Canelo gets to be Bivol, does Canelo want to keep adding into the legacy and taking more challenges and try to undisputed for another one? I don't know, but he needs to go through the Bivol. So the positive thing is that there's possibilities, and I think Benavidez can be rest assured that eventually his payday. And by the way, guys, we're excited, and if you guys haven't heard podcast. I forgot what it was, but we had his father here. He talked a lot. He talked a
Benavidez
lot
Senior.
about this opportunity to always be with Canelo. And this is about what 2 years ago. And he
years
was
ago.
really sure about it's not about the payday or the money, which we know it's
Yeah,
the payday's there, but it was about the fact that he felt his son, he's never gotten that fair chance. He's never gotten be accepted. And look at the turnaround, and now people are actually he gained a lot of fans last night. I got to tell you, he did gain respect, and I think right now everything he talked to us that day in our show, we can see that fruit right now. So
yeah, absolutely. So let's get to more of these comments. So Manuel Robles, I agree with Hopper. I love Canelo, but I don't see what he can do anything different to beat Bivol. That's fair. Nando Llamas Benavidez on something else now. Thank you, Memo. JC Benavidez, the Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster. Wow.
Hey, that's true, man. When I saw, hey, that me and my wife, we even compared that. Like that's how far we were nitpicking the pay-per-view card. We were comparing their girlfriends. We're like, oh, Caleb Plant's girlfriend looks more natural and she's pretty.
Yes.
Benavidez' girlfriend, she was pretty too, but she looked a little artificial. If you get what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
I respect all women. Women are beautiful. All right. So
wow.
Danny Jacobs was robbed. Yeah, very much so. Was robbed versus G. Nando Llamas Plant sells any fight, great opponent. I like that. I like that. That's fair. When's the last time we said, you know what? I'll go ahead and say this, and I'll probably get kicked off the show, even though we're brothers. You won't let me back on. I like Plant versus Charlo and Boo Boo.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Well, not against Boo Boo. I think that'd be one of the most boringest fights. Him and
I mean, Boo Boo wants a chance.
Names, it'd be great.
Boo Boo wants a chance, and we see him cross over.
Oh, hey, speaking of Jamal, I mean, where does he play into all this anymore?
Oh, he's just sitting down, chilling over there, and watching the fights and getting.
You don't want no Benavidez. Yeah, he's not gonna throw his name in there. He's not. He's gonna stay at 160 and fight. Yeah. Some other continues.
But yeah, I think out of the two, which is crazy, I could see Boo Boo taking a Plant fight over Charlo. I don't know what Charlo's doing.
He was there. I mean, he was making noise. He was there. You can't ignore Canelo isn't in his prime anymore, and that's true. And honestly, I was going to talk about this later down the line. I think Canelo maybe has one or two more peak fights, and then it's all just down to Father Time. He's undefeated, man.
Yeah, and then when you start weight jumping, I mean, it's just
got way too many fights already. 400 rounds of fighting, man. That's just and he's not a young guy anymore.
Mm-hmm. Great comment from my brother Remy. I know T. Morrell Jr. keeps saying that he ain't ready, but he's an interim longer than Benavidez. But I would love to see Canelo versus Benavidez. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys think Rayo won?
Of course. Watch out for the Hopper thought. I'm gonna drop a Hopper thought on that, man.
Okay, Hopper thought coming. So
Rayo.
Be sure to check that out. And also shout out to Esme for always supporting us. For those that don't know, she promotes the show. She's a great photographer out of San Diego, California, and Tijuana. She does her thing. She's amazing. And we support and love all women, okay?
I think that's the only fight that I
even artificial ones.
The fight that I was very disappointed in last night, it was that fight. I started with a bam. I started with like, man, PBC redeeming themselves. We give so much shit about it, and I'm sure they don't give a shit about us either. But it's a gringo. But last night it started with a bang, and then all of a sudden you get this fight, and sadly enough, it was a very close fight. But all three judges, giving it to the boxer that actually didn't look that good. That was for me. I was like, man, things were going really good with this, man. And then, I think that honestly, Valenzuela did what he had to do to Colbert. If you ask me, I think Colbert won 4 rounds the most. Valenzuela, obviously, the first one. When you think about the second, third, and fourth, maybe Colbert here, there, but anything after that, I'm sorry. And he got taken away one knockdown, which I would love to see a much better replay. I don't know if he actually touched the glove with the canvas, but he was removed from that knockdown. So you tell me, and you finish with a bang. At the end of the night, that last round, I mean, he was on point. I've never seen that previous fight from Rayo. It was not what we were expecting from him. And these guys we talked about, they came from a big 2 losses, and then taking away a fight like this, I get it. It merits a rematch regardless, but we got to get these decisions right. And I just want to see it again. I want to see it again before I rant about it, but definitely my disappointment of the night. Because the decision, I don't think it went the right way. Not robbery. Close fights are not robbery, but still.
No, this one was a robbery.
The wrong boxer got the hand raised last night.
No, definitely, man. I definitely agree on that. So I know, Hopper, you say you're gonna put your final thought out there, so we'll let you get that Hopper final thought. The Hopper thought out there. So I guess we'll go ahead and go to final thoughts. But I want to go to this comment real quick. Nando Llamas.
Nando's bringing the heat, man.
Yeah. He's bringing that heat today.
I refuse to call him Rayo.
I refuse to call him Rayo. Dude ain't good enough for a nickname.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big burn. Give that man a sensu bean.
Hey, yo. Whoa. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, looking at the numbers, Rayo clearly won. He had the more impactful punches. So let me pull this up real quick, and then we'll go ahead and do final thoughts. Where is my?
I cannot believe my eyes.
Here we go. So yeah, real quick. So Chris Colbert, he did land 124 out of 544, 15 to the body, 23%. Jazz 47, not bad, but out of 288, 16%. Power 30%, 77 out of 256. Now, Rayo, Jose Venezuela, because Nando Llamas will not call him Rayo. He refuses to. Shout out to him. He landed 132 out of 610, 35 to the body, 22% clip. Jab only 6%, 15 out of 261. Power is where you make your 117 landed out of 349. Man, okay, so just real quick, to not totally give it away, but the unpopular decision with Colbert, who outlanded 117 to 77 in power punches versus by Venezuela, dropped Colbert in the first round, landed the power punches, and as far as he threw 93 more power punches, to me that's not even looking at the fight. I know that it's wrong. You can't look at the numbers, but man, numbers don't lie. Does that kind of equate what you guys saw? Those numbers?
And plus, it's like, say you didn't see the fight, right? And they tell you, oh, this guy was dropped in the first, and then they give you the punch out, and they give you the power punches, and they give you like, man, damn, well, that dude won then. If he dropped him, nope, the other guy won. What? That's make it make sense, gringo. Make it make sense. Like I said, I got a Hopper thought coming on. I'm coming in strong. The judges, Feldman, Giampa, and Don Trella, coming for you guys. Vatos.
Oh, hey, yo, man. That's what I'm talking about.
lindo, él dijo resplandor. ¡Ay, mierda!
That's what they're thinking right now. Uh-oh.
I know you're hurting, Shakur.
Yeah, me too, bro.
Wow.
Charlie doesn't like it. That means the show is almost over.
Where I'm coming from, because it's mind-boggling to you, yeah.
Can't be that.
Macho Man was sweaty. He was sweaty. He's sweating like a...
Yeah, shout out to cocaine. All right, so here we go, guys. Get ready to close things out. Final thoughts, Manny.
All right, so I just want to play something real quickly, because sometimes we talk about certain things and we're way off, but sometimes we talk about things and we're just right on point. This is from podcast 113. We'll clip it for you. Hopefully we can hear from it, but this is where I'm going to start my thought. Hopefully you don't hear it. Let me know.
And unfortunately, I won't be. I'll be having some cocktails around that. That Jesus Ramos might get myself ready for that for the main event. But at this point, I'm thinking and I'm feeling that one of the stars for PBC could be Jesus Ramos. And I think he's probably going to prove it. He's got the opportunity to do so, and he's going to do it in a fashion way. And I think he, as slick as Joe Spencer is, and as good and smart and moves well in the ring, he's going to catch him. He's going to catch him pretty well. That's all it takes. And I would say buenas noches.
Damn. Dude.
So with that being said, it's not a surprise. We said it here. Jesus El Mono Ramos did what he had to do against a very young, talented, slick, powerful Joey Spencer. Great fight. I said 8th round, but it was done in the 7th round. So with that, yes, I'm gonna back out my statement. A new star was born yesterday at that amazing card, Benavidez. And that's El Mono.
All right, man. Well said. I was kind of worried when you put your phone up. I thought, like, man, we about to get some crazy voicemails from Manny. Here we go.
And my apologies for being late, but I got caught up with some punana.
As we call it, pupusa.
Hey!
I gave it
You
away.
know the ladies. All right, so Hopper, final thoughts, brother.
Final thought. I hyped this card up for a very long time, and I'm a PBC hater, but this was a fight card that I was excited for. Me and my wife watched every fight. We enjoyed it, and I cooked out. I had a great time. I loved it, and hopefully we can continue getting some of these cards. The PBC is if this is what they're gonna give us, man, they should have been in trouble a long time ago. If these are the kind of fights that they're gonna be delivering. No, thank you to all the fighters that were there, put on the show for us, for our entertainment. I'm glad you guys are hopefully heal up, get ready to do it again. And boxing keeps rolling, baby. Next week, AJ Anthony Joshua returns, and then we also have that fight, top rank right here in Oklahoma, the Robert Ramirez against Dogbay. So boxing keeps rolling, baby.
Yeah, definitely.
Xander won't be fighting there. But...
Xander won't be fighting. Kind of broke our hearts, but hey.
Yeah, our show is solely for Chocolatito and Xander's IS per Esme. And Coach Christine, who we
look
love.
at JC Franklin for the upset. Wow.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear that roundtable this week.
Oh yeah, definitely. So what I want to go ahead and say is, man, thank you guys so much. But again, it is time.
I wanna go home.
Party home. And I want to thank everybody for listening. Every time before a show, I'm like, is anybody gonna even actually listen to this?
If you listen, hell.
All right. So with that being said, you guys are amazing. We love you. Make sure to continue to support us, but support boxing, support your local boxing scene. We appreciate you guys so much. We'll see you guys next week. And to make sure to follow us on Instagram to check out the Hopper Thoughts. You won't be disappointed.
Today.
Podcast 115, 116. They're out with an amazing
William Cepeda.
Yes, William Cepeda. He'll be fighting on the undercard of who?
Tank Ryan.
And think about it, 135.
In Espanol.
Long Live Boxing, you know, they're awesome supporters of our show every Wednesdays. Please, everybody go follow.
EnVivo. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, como siempre, Mari Marrero.
Sean El Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper.
Hey.
Always breaking it down like it is, like it should